Hello, this is Dennis with A1 Telephone Service and Repair, A1 Electronics. You can reach us on the web at www.a1-telephone.com, and you can also reach us at 618-235-6959. Today I want to show you a really cool Northern Electric Galion desk rotary telephone. And this is Pete's telephone from Oregon. And so basically this is the initial checkout of this telephone. And we have some issues with this telephone. Basically, we're going to start out here with the line cord. We want to replace the line cord because it's got some fraying going on. And Pete says he needs about 3 or 4 feet. And we're going to go ahead and do about a 5-foot cloth line cord for him. I want to move that out of the way because we want to get a look at the rest of the telephone. The handset cord here can go ahead and be used. We're going to go ahead and get rid of probably what was a tag off of that handset cord. And we have a little fraying going up into the handset, but that can be taken care of. He's got plenty of length here on the handset cord, and the cord's in pretty decent shape, so we'll probably be able to use that. And since it's with the telephone, we're going to go ahead and do that. And I want to move that out of the way. We definitely want to get him a dial center ring because there is no dial center ring on the finger wheel, and a card to the period of the telephone. And these are really cool Art Deco style telephones. I'm going to show you the back of this telephone here in a second. And we do have this telephone apart, and we're going to show you the inside. Now, the transmitter cup has a little crack in it here where it's been pushed through, where your holes are for your transmitter. And Pete's not too worried about that, and I'm not either. I don't think that's a real big issue. You can always find a cap down the road, and I think this is fine. Plus, it kind of, the phone is not new, so basically this is how the telephone was, so it kind of gives it a little bit of character, and I don't think it's a big issue. But, so we're not going to change that. We want to go ahead and take a look at the inside of this telephone. I want to pull the cover off for you to give you a look at that. First, I want to turn the telephone around and show you the back side of these telephones. They're really cool. And right off you can tell them, that they're from the Art Deco age and have an Art Deco style to them. Now, what we want to talk about on the inside of this telephone is, just by looking at the telephone, I can tell it's wired wrong. So somebody has been in the telephone or has gone through it and done some things to it over the years. We want to show you the inside of the telephone here. And the bell is loose. The solenoid. The bells are actually stationary and can be moved around, and they have an adjustment on them. But the bell itself has no connections coming off of it and has been moved around. And it's to the period of a solenoid, but I've got a feeling somebody took the original bell solenoid out because they wouldn't ring on a modern day system. But for some reason this one did not get, if it had been replaced, it did not get reconnected, and they did not tighten it down like they should have and got it into position. So maybe somebody was starting to work on it and never finished it because the bell doesn't even have any connections. I want to go through, we still have our schematic here on the capacitor, but I want to go through and make sure everything is wired properly, and I know that it is not from past experience and just looking at it. There has been some changes going on here. So we also want to go through the rotary because I did connect this telephone up, and the rotary is not working properly, and it's not connected the way we want it connected. And I'm going to go ahead and try to give you a look at this telephone real quick on the inside, a little closer view. I also want to show you on the rotary it will stick at times. So I'm going to try to get it to stick, because seems like it's returning pretty good now, but I've had a couple of times where it actually stuck on me. And so maybe it won't stick now, but it still needs to be gone through, cleaned, adjusted, and oiled. And we want to do that and get it back into shape. These are very cool telephones because they're in the Art Deco style, and they had the real wide base to them, and they just have a really nice look to them. And we get a lot of calls about these. They're pretty sought after. And you don't see a whole lot of Northern Galion telephones. You see them from time to time, but you don't see them every day like you do a Western Electric and that. So that's what's cool about them, and people like them. So Pete's got a keeper here. And we're going to get some more video as we move along into the repair of this telephone. And we're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back. Okay, we're back, and I'm going to kind of show you what we're involved in right now with this telephone. Since we wanted to save the original handset cord, we did remove the frayed part out of the handset cord. And so that has been removed, and the spade connectors and the keeper here have been removed, and now we're replacing them. The spade connectors we already reinstalled. We also put some heat shrink on this cord to keep any fraying from going on. And then we have another piece of heat shrink once we pull our cord back into the receiver part. We're going to heat shrink that. So coming out of the back of the handset, there won't be any fraying going on, because the heat shrink will keep that together. But we don't want to do this piece of heat shrink until after we pull back through the handset. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the keeper and put it back onto our handset cord. And so I want to do that where I put my first piece of heat shrink. And so now we have a piece that looks like that, where we have our lines that go out to the handset, but then we have our keeper here. And I have a pair of dikes here, but they have I have a special area on them where I can clamp down and catch. So I want to do that real quick here. And I just want to go slow. You don't want to take this too fast, because you want to pinch the wire, but you don't want to overly smash it and then cause yourself trouble. And since I have little notches in this that I've put in there, then I can grab the spikes on the keeper, and that will not allow the wire to come out. And so what we have here is a little screw that actually goes through our hook here, and we can put that on. I'm going to go ahead and put that on, because you want to put this in first. And once you slide that screw into place, if we can get it into place, the wire's kind of taut. That'll hold that until you can get back up here into the handset. We want to get the old piece of material out of the way. We also want to work our heat shrink down and through the handset, so that'll take a little bit here. Got to work it through. Once we get a piece of it, we can kind of pull it on through. We don't want to pull it too far, though. And if you look down here in the handset, you're going to see a standoff that this screw actually screws into. So we're just going to kind of work our way down in there. We don't want to go too far. Then I need to start trying to work my screw back into place here. And then it popped out on me. But that can happen, so you're not going to get this on the first try. Sometimes it works out real well, and other times you got to work at it a little bit. Because you're not talking about, the screw's pretty small, so you don't have much to work with. And it can slip out, so... And I'm trying to do it for the video, so yeah, it's not going to go 100% here all the time. So we're going to give this a couple tries until we get it. And we may have to loosen things up a little bit. I might have to put a little bend on it. Okay, what we're going to do here is I'm going to pull this back out a little bit. And I want to bend it out just a hair. I'm going to try to start our screw again here. Okay. Now we want to work this back down. I'm going to try to slide that into place. That's in place there. I want to get it from the back side because I don't want that hook to come out. And then we can tighten it down here. I know the video is probably not picking all this up. This is what you have to go through to do it the way they did it years ago. And so now we can make all of our connections back into the transmitter. Kind of helps to know your color code. And they certainly don't make them like this anymore, and haven't for years. Make sure our contacts are good. We've already cleaned them. We definitely want to clean the contacts on the transmitter. I want to also scrape them. Get all the tarnish off of it. Now we can put this all back together again. Okay, so now what we can do, even though the telephone is not wired properly, we can go ahead and we'll do some dial tone here real quick and test our handset. Give you some dial tone. Now I want to take dial tone away real quick, so I'm going to, and then I want to transmit into the handset. Every time you see this red light, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, hello, hello. Every time you see that red light, that's an indication of 100% modulation on transmit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, hello, hello. Now we'll get dial tone back. Do some dial tone. So we know our handset is repaired now, and I can go ahead and disconnect everything there. And what we want to do now is we want to fix up our heat shrink and then heat shrink that, and then we'll be good to go. So we'll get some more video of this telephone as we move along into the repairs of it, and we'll be right back. Okay, we're back now, and we are finished up with this telephone. So what we're going to do is run through a few things that went on, and we're going to do our final checks. Basically, the bells have been set for their tuning, and our solenoid has been remounted, and it's in its place. We went through the network and got that straightened out, and through some of our wiring we checked everything, went into the rotary and made sure that was cleaned, oiled, and adjusted. And so now what we want to do is we want to ring the bells. That was one of the issues, and we want to go ahead and do that now. We'll go ahead and ring them. We'll let that go a few times. I'll let it go one more time. I'm going to stop it, and I want to do the bells on a low ring cycle. I'll let that go one more time. We'll stop it. I'll quieten the bells, and I'll do a normal ring setting. and we'll go ahead and stop the unit. And basically why I do a low ring cycle is because I want to make sure that no matter where this telephone is at, that it's still going to ring on a low ring voltage. And so basically that's kind of my insurance that it will ring anywhere, even if the ring cycle has a low voltage. And so anyway, it just kind of reassures me, and I know what's going on. But what we're going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and unplug the telephone, and I want to pull what we had blocking the hook switch, and I want to swing this telephone around and get the body back on here. So we want to make sure everything's in its position. And now we can do the rest of our final checks. We have installed our line cord, our cloth line cord. The handset cord has been repaired. We also have our dial center ring and card. We'll do a still picture of that. And so now we're ready for our final test. I'm going to go ahead and ring the telephone again. I'll let it go one more time and we'll answer it. Give you some dial tone. And now what we want to do is we want to dial our numbers. So if you want to watch the analyzer, you'll watch the numbers rack off. I'm going to end in a 2. And now what I want to do is transmit into the handset. So if you watch the analyzer and you watch the red light, every time that red light lights on the analyzer, that's an indication of 100% modulation on transmit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hello, hello. Want to give you dial tone one more time. Now, if you watch the rotary, you're going to see the return on it is much faster and smoother. And I'll do a 6 and a 2, 6, 2. Much more smooth and returns a lot faster. So the rotary is proper now. We can move the telephone over to a regular line. And we'll go ahead and call a time and temp. Give you some dial tone.
Offenburg Ford, a short drive to great value. Today is Saturday, February 16th. The time is 2:30. Current temperature 33 degrees. Now the Belleville area weather forecast. Partly cloudy tonight and Saturday. Low tonight, low 20. Saturday's high mid-30s.
Okay. We can call one other number. We can call my number and it'll be busy. Give you some dial tone. Alright, according to time and temp, it's 2:30 in the morning, and I think I'll be starting another telephone. And now that we know that this telephone is repaired, we can return it to Pete, and he can start enjoying his telephone. These Northern Electric Galion telephones are really just a great piece of the past, and it's going to look great wherever he has this telephone, and I'm sure he's going to enjoy it very much. This is Dennis with A1 Telephone Service and Repair, A1 Electronics. You can reach us on the web at www.a1-telephone.com, and you can also reach us at 618-235-6959. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.